Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. So for today's episode, I want to talk about Jaime Jaquez Jr. He is going into his third NBA season, and I think this could be a big bounce back year for Jaime Jaquez Jr. after an incredible rookie season with the Miami Heat. He last season hit the dreaded sophomore slump and had a pretty bad year overall. Yes, he did have some lingering injuries, but he really looked like he lacked a lot of confidence in his second year. His role was a little bit diminished, so he didn't get the same opportunity. But still, when he was on the floor, he didn't look that great. And I think heading into next season, it's really important for him to bounce back. And according to Bleacher Report, they said that he should be the Miami Heat's biggest riser next season. So I want to break down exactly how Jaime Jaquez Jr. can get back on track for the Miami Heat. So again, as a rookie, he was a fan favorite. He finished fourth in Rookie of the Year voting. He was also ninth in Sixth Man of the Year voting. And it looked like another draft steal by the Miami Heat. He was drafted 18th overall. So for him to finish fourth overall over all those guys who were in the top 10, I think was huge. And he definitely played with a lot of toughness. He made really good decisions. He showed that he had that Miami Heat culture and signature grit. And in year two, he slipped. Like he just wasn't the same player. He had lingering issues with his groin and his ankle, I believe. His minutes did drop, so that didn't help. His efficiency fell. His splits were 46% from the field, 31% from three, 75% from the line. And at times, it looked like he lost his rhythm and his confidence. And that's huge in basketball. The psychological aspect of basketball and the mental, like, gymnastics you have to play in order to be a good basketball player, like you have to have faith in yourself. You have to have crazy confidence. And if you lose that, then you lose your edge. And so Jaime was looking really good. And it looked like he was going to progress into a very key rotational player for the Heat. And we know that progress and growth is not always linear. And I'm hoping that Jaime can prove that. But the good news with him is that he has an opportunity now. We didn't sign a bunch of players or a bunch of wing players this offseason after losing Jimmy Butler. So there is an opportunity for him to play as like the eighth man or ninth man off of the bench. And I see him reestablishing himself as a key rotational piece. I know Pella Larson has possibly leapfrogged him now, which is unfortunate because he's a second round pick. He was a rookie last season. And Jaime still, though, is going to get an opportunity now that Haywood Highsmith is gone, that Jimmy Butler is gone. There is an opportunity for him to get these minutes. And so, how does he bounce back? One, I think he needs to improve his three-point shooting. So, of course, the efficiency. He was only 33% as a rookie. It went down to 31. If he wants to be effective, he needs to shoot more threes. So I think he needs to take at least 1.5 more three-pointers per game, especially from the corners where you could shoot them at a higher percentage. It's the shortest three-pointer in the NBA, so why not take more of those so you can have a higher percentage? So he needs to increase his three-point shooting and take more attempts. He needs to get more shots at the rim. He was finishing at the rim way more as a rookie. He was using that great spin move and footwork to get into the paint. And he had more quickness and like athleticism, it looked like, in his rookie year versus second year. So that could have been the injuries. But he could do that either on ball, by, driving quickly to the basket when he has the opportunity. But otherwise, he needs to do more off ball cutting, slip screens, and all that. Like, I think he needs to try to finish more at the rim so he can increase his field goal percentage again. And the other thing, I think he needs to draw more fouls, take a lesson from his teammate Pella Larson. We haven't seen Pella do that, obviously, on the NBA level yet, but in Summer League, in Euro basket, right now, he's just been aggressive in driving to the hoop and getting fouled. And so that's what we need Jaime to do, is get to the free throw line 2 or 3 more times a night. Like, that would be huge. It'll take pressure off of his jumper, let him get in rhythm by scoring some easy free points. So I think that's what he needs to focus on. In terms of schemes, like, what can the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra do to get him going. I think he needs to probably be in more actions like the dribble handoff with Bam. And it's not going to be like the same DHO with Duncan Robinson because he can't shoot. But Jaime can come off pin downs, and then works off the DHO with Bam. And if the defender trails Jaime Jaquez, then that can give him the opportunity to get downhill. That screen, that handoff will help him get downhill. If they switch, then Bam gets a mismatch theoretically, and then Jaime is not a bad passer. You can find Bam Adebayo on that mismatch, and then hopefully Bam can get an easy bucket. So I think that's one thing he needs to do. Another thing could be maybe more pistol actions where he brings it up and he's coming off the bench. So there isn't really too many great ball handlers off the bench. I know Davion's most likely going to come off the bench, so he'll be in there. But there's times where he could bring up the ball off of the bench. And in the pistol action, he could pitch it to the corner and then chases it into a handoff from there. And he could either redirect the screen, he could either slip to the rim, or he could hit the weak side shooter, which most likely will be probably a Pella Larson in that case. So this gets him moving in the offense and not where he's just standing still in the corner. The other thing could be more leveraging the Spain pick and roll. So if he's playing with Tyler Hero or Bam, run Hero and Bam in the main action, and Jaquez sets that screen for Bam's man. From there, Jaime then can either pop for a open three, or he could slip to the rim. Ideally, he would slip to the rim. And so this forces the defense to basically choose. And either way, Jaime will have a higher quality shot if he's the one that's in the action for that Spain pick and roll. So these are just a few things that they can do to get him more involved. In terms of where he needs to improve, I think the handle, like too many of his drives last year died because he's still right hand dominant and he was depending too much on that spin, and they started to read that. There's a lot of film. So he's got to basically learn how to improve with his left hand. He needs to be able to work on his crossover, I think. So he needs to be able to keep the offense like or the defense honest by being able to be a better attacker. And so I think that's one thing he needs to work on is his handle. The second would be his jumper. Like obviously his jump shot wasn't great. People were daring him to shoot the ball. So I think he needs to work on his mid-range and get quality mid-range shots from the mid-post, like working on that turnaround shot that looked pretty good his rookie year. So I think being more efficient and just working on that jump shot overall, getting better mechanics and fundamentals and just cleaning that up. I think that's going to help him. And then next, he's not going to be on ball too much because Nico is going to be playing off the bench with him, most likely Davion Mitchell, even Pella Larson, if they're going to showcase him more. So he's going to need to go back to what he did his rookie year. And that was just playing off ball, cutting with purpose. And, he needs to work on those backdoor cuts. And I think if he does that and he just moves around versus standing a lot in the corner like he did, and teams were daring him to shoot that three ball in the corner, they were literally daring him and playing no defense on him. He needs to just be moving around constantly versus standing in the corner, I think, which is going to definitely help. And of course, on the defensive end, that's where you can guarantee minutes. That's where you can be a person with a role off of the bench. Like we need him to stop other wings. We need him to be an elite rotational defender, a help defender. We need him to be able to switch confidently 1 through 4 if he can. He's 6'6", 6'7", so hopefully can guard up a little bit, but we need him to be quick enough and moving his feet laterally enough where he can stay in front of point guards. And so I think that is going to be huge for him, is improving obviously defensively too. And improving the shot, I think, is the biggest thing. I mean, the handles, obviously, that's important as well. But if he can improve his defense and be consistent on that end first, and then obviously shoot higher percentages from three and finishing at the rim, I think that's all that's going to really matter for him. And if Jaime bounces back, he gives the Miami Heat something they desperately need, a versatile two-way forward off of the bench who can guard wings, who can guard guards, who can contribute offensively. So just become that 3-and-D prototypical type of small forward, and that could be huge. That year 3 leap would be great if Jaime can get, back to like 12, 13 points per game, 5 rebounds, a couple assists, a steal. He can definitely stabilize the Miami Heat's depth behind playing with Davion, Nico and Pella. Like he could be that fourth guy, that ninth man off of the bench, which will give us a lot of stability and depth, I think would be huge. And again, we're leaning young. So him He's only 24. Pella's 24. Davion's 26. Nico's 22. Like we have a lot of young guys coming off the bench, so we need one of them to pop. And if Nico's not popping for some reason, if Pele's not popping for some reason, we need him then to get back to his rookie season roots and be effective as a two-way player. That's what we need right now. And just don't be a negative offensively. Don't be afraid offensively, and have confidence like you did your rookie year. And I think things will work out well for him and for the Miami Heat in a weaker East. So that's all I have for this episode. Let me know if you think Jaime Jaquez can bounce back in his third season, reestablish himself as a key rotational player for the Miami Heat next season, but also for the future as well. Like his contract is going to be coming up, I think, in 2 seasons. So are they going to extend him? Is he going to be worth it? Can he get back into that rotation? That is going to be key for Jaime this season.